Please start.
The weather is on our side today. The sun and I, Samruddin Alamwar, both stretch you a very warm welcome and good afternoon. We all have gathered here on the occasion of National Science Day. National Science Day is celebrated on birth anniversary of C.V. Raman. Light is a symbol of brightness and prosperity. As sunlight expels the darkness of mind, similarly, blessings bring in our life prosperity and happiness. To make this afternoon a blessed one, we have evoked Goddess Saraswati by kindling the lamp of knowledge and wisdom. With this, I would like to hand over mic to Mrs. Shraddha Golkhede ma'am, Head of Department of Science.
A very warm welcome and good afternoon to one and all. Dear viewers, in parallel to the theme of this year, Future of STI Impacts on Education, Skill and Work, the Missile Man of India, Honorable APJ Kalam, stated once, "Science was born and survives only by questions." The whole foundation of science is questioning. Children are source of unending questions. Hence, child is the first scientist. Following truly, National Science Day, 28th February, is celebrated as a platform at our mega group of schools. Students participate and demonstrate various science projects, speech, quiz, competitions, exhibitions, science talk, guest lecture, webinar by eminent speaker, and scientific Rangoli competitions by students. Workshop, paper presentation, trainings, and conferences by science teacher, and many more. Not wasting much more time of ours, before moving further, I would like to make a big announcement, which is a great achievement of one of our school students, Master Aniket Prashant Kakade, who got Dr. APJ National Award for Innovation and Creativity for his device named Sanito. He started his mission AgroYarn, which is useful for farmers for spraying chemicals, using in hospitals for domestic purposes, and for COVID warriors like sanitizing workers. Now, I would like to congratulate Master Aniket Kakade and a mega group of schools and all teachers. Congratulations. Not wasting much more time, I would like to proceed towards our webinar. I would like to hand over to Mr. Satish Upre, Atal in charge of School of Scholars, Yavatmal, to introduce our eminent speaker. Over to you, Priscilla.
Thank you, madam. Welcome you all. Today, we have with our eminent guest, Professor Dr. Satish Arunrao Polshettiwar. Basically, his native place is in our Yatmal district only. He took his senior education from Lokman Tilak Mahavidyalaya, Vani. After that, for the graduation purpose, he went to Amravati, that is in Vishwabharati College, Amravati. He did his MPom PhD, and now recently he's working as a professor in MIT College, Pune. As we know, he is having more than 17 years of teaching and research experience. Presently, he is working as a professor and head of career services and placement cell at MIT Pune, that is World Peace University School of Pharmacy, Pune, India. He is having his own pharmacy educational YouTube channel with more than 4,000 subscribers and 60,000 students followers. This is amazing. He is recipient of many national and international awards, such as recipient of National Unity Award in 2018, as well as recipient of Marquess Lifetime Achievement Award in 2018. With this, recipient of Best Scientist in Pharmacy Award from 4th Asian Education Award 2019, recipient of Best Scientist in Pharmacy Award at 8th Science and Technology Award held at Bangalore. With this, recipient of Shikshan Shri Award, which is a prestigious award in the Shiksha, as well as recipient of Best Innovative Teacher Award recently in the year of 2020. We'll go with some highlights of his work which he did in the last 17 years. In that, he has presented national and international publication 56 in India and all the world. With this, he patented 3 projects over there. He wrote 3 books of pharmacy. Conferences and paper presented is more than 50. And the basic things as a science teacher or as an innovator, that the 3 technologies transfer to industry, which is what the innovative world required nowadays to become the entrepreneur. And the most important thing is that he developed 4 chemical formulas and product for various diseases. This is the very brief introduction of our today's guest. I hope it belongs to our district only. And without taking too much time, though I will read, it is a big, very big list of his work which I got from him. So without taking too much time, I will hand over mic to Professor Dr. Satish Pulsittiwar, sir. Please, sir.
Yes. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, sir. You are audible, sir.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Satish, for your excellent introduction. I don't deserve all these kind of things. I believe on working. Okay, I am workaholic person. Yeah, thank you once again. So very warm afternoon to all my esteemed dignitaries, my dear student, my dear teachers, parents on this virtual platform on the very auspicious day that we are celebrating today. That is National Science Day. That is the topic of today's interest is importance of chemistry in everyday life for better tomorrow. How we can make it better tomorrow. At the outset, I would like to extend my sincere thanks and gratitude to visionary management of School of Scholars, Yavatmal, Principal Chavan sir, also Coordinator Shraddha Gorkhede Madam, HOS School of Scholars, Yavatmal branch. Also, I extend my sincere thanks to my friend Satish Upre, Atal in charge of School of Scholars, Yavatmal branch. Also, I would like to extend my sincere thanks to IT team. That is, I think, one of the biggest, kind of tasks they are performing today with the presence of Ritesh sir, I think Ritesh Nair sir, along with his team. And also, I wish thanks to the today's, anchor. I really appreciate Nalamwar, that ma'am, Samruddhi, for taking her pain since last 2-3 days for making this event more and more successful. Okay, without taking much your time, I would like to start my today's topic of interest as we celebrating the National Science Day. Probably we should talk on science. Okay, so let us begin with the topic of today's interest. Okay, so how we can make the chemistry for our better life. Okay, as we celebrating the very auspicious day of National Science Day. On the remarkable historical, I think, the invention, discovery that been, done by Dr. C.V. Raman. So because of that, he has been, awarded as a Nobel laureate, all of you know, in 1930. So we should remember his, the discovery, his all tremendous, we can say, contribution in field of science. So science is, I think, it is one of the, one of the, I think, crucial thing in our life. Without science, we cannot live our life. That is very important. Science is one of the, I think, the part of life, we can say. Without that, we cannot survive, we cannot live. So you cannot imagine without science, without, we can say, chemistry. Probably that is one of the important part of today's life. So let us continue with this topic of today's interest. So first, I should really, give the this. We should always remember the contribution which has been made in the field of science, that by discovering the Raman effect. So probably you must be aware about Raman effect. What is Raman effect? Okay, he was a physicist actually. Okay, he was not a chemist. He was a physicist. He devoted his life for discovering many things. And this is the one of the I think outcome of that particular study that he has made during his entire life. So because of that, he awarded as a Nobel laureates in the field of science. So Raman effect, all of you know today's life. We use Raman effect in various fields. In case of forensic science, in case of your health, in case of your we can say a daily life, we experience this Raman effect. So probably you can see in the image how this Raman effect is nothing but a scattering of light. If you pass the light on any transparent object, okay, so what is the light coming out from that, with the proper amplitude and wavelength, that is probably we call as Raman effect. So we should know what is his contribution. We are celebrating this day today as a National Science Day, but many of us not knowing what he has done in entire life. This is the take-home message for all of us. How we can take this, you can read the biography of this scientist, how we could make it all this, the discovery. Probably you can learn all these things. So let us continue with today's discussion. What you are going to learn today, I am giving you some, kind of tips how discoveries happen, how this particular, molecule have been discovered, how this particular entire world have been created with the help of chemistry. And I'm not going to, teach you. I'm going to give you some kind of insight how we can learn, how we can become a good observer, and you can become a creator, and we can make our life more and more beautiful. That is I'm going to focus. So my entire session would be like that only. I'm not going to teach you chemistry. Probably your teacher will teach you the chemistry, what is hydrogen atom and what is carbon atom and all these things. So here we have to understand how we can utilize our knowledge that probably we called as imperative knowledge, not a declarative knowledge. And we can convert that knowledge into, we can say, some creation purpose. Like we understood the discovery of many scientists, what they did in entire their life. If you take the example of Raman, what that C.V. Raman has done, and how he has been contributed for well-being of society. That is very important. Whenever you are doing anything, always think about that, how my research, my work is going to be helpful in society. Then and only probably, the nation will build up and entire globe will, enrich with this kind of knowledge. That is the things. So we should understand discovery of chemistry from batteries to painkiller, because we all know how battery have been created and how your painkiller have been created in order to mask your pain. Because whenever you have a pain, we always take medicine. Na? So that is a chemistry. That is nothing but a chemistry. This is required in our life. So daily life, your morning, I think when you wake up in the morning, your life starts from chemistry. Like you are taking that toothbrush. Okay, that is what? Chemistry. It is made up of chemistry, like plastic. So plastic is one of the product of chemistry. So many students are afraid to learn chemistry. In the lab, they want to afraid. Yeah, these are the chemical. They are the hydrogen ion. This is the sulfuric acid, hydrochloric acid. I don't want to touch this acid. I don't want to, go in the chemistry lab. So this kind of phobia are there. That is chemophobia, we can say. We have to always, take this subject very passionately. Take this subject passionately, as rightly said by Shraddha Gaurkhade madam. She is taking this kind of science. So probably, this is the kind of things we should learn from the chemistry, because chemistry is the center of science. Chemistry is the center of science. We call as nothing but all other branches are being created from the chemistry only. People are talking like, chemistry is nowhere we can say it is not playing any role in our life. But yeah, it has a several role. We have to think about that, how our body is made up. The body is made up of the 4 important chemicals. We all know the elements we call. That is carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen. Apart from that, we have the several inorganic elements also. That is we call as 25 elements. So this body is made up of organic and inorganic chemistry. So we need to understand from our system. So then and only probably you can understand what is this carbon, how this carbon have been evolved, and how the scientists have made a revolutionary, creation for the entire world in order to make their life more and more beautiful. So chemistry can make our life more and more beautiful. So we need to understand how this classical chemistry have been transformed to the modern chemistry. Because chemistry is what? What is chemistry? Chemistry is nothing but the transformation of the matter. How we can transform one matter to another form. Nothing is going to change. As per the scientists' discovery, you all know, we understood that law of conservation of energy. Neither be created nor be destroyed, but it can be transferred from one place to another place. This is the kind of thing how we can utilize this particular knowledge for creating some useful thing. So probably I'm going to take you on your live example that is surrounding with us. If you all know the chemistry, without chemistry we cannot eat, we cannot wear the shirt. See, there are multiple things you are getting from the chemistry. So probably we need to focus on our daily life in order to understand the chemistry. So we all know we are moving from the industry 1.0 to 4.0. People are talking on artificial intelligence. You all know we are now using a 5G, 4G phone. Maybe after one or 2 months, probably you'll be getting the 5G phone. What is that? That is a transformation. We are transforming from the simple mobile to your smartphone. That is because of this is made possible because of the chemistry, the plastic we invented initially. From that we got that graphene, is one of the material which is prepared from that plastic, which is 200 times more harder than the plastic. So this is the way how we can moving from the 1G technology to 5G technology, Wi-Fi to Li-Fi probably. That is the kind of technology coming day by day. We should always learn the advances. We have to create a need. Need is there. Based on the need, we can think on that how we can solve that particular issue. We have to always become problem solver. So what we are learning in our daily life now, just bookish language. In book it is given, we have to learn the carbon atom, we have to learn the hydrogen atom, we have to learn about oxygen, we have to learn about this chemistry. Okay, but how we can utilize this chemistry for our problem? That is you have to think. Beginning of chemistry. If you're studying chemistry, then you must have wondered about the importance of chemistry in everyday life. Chemistry is a branch of science. We all know we are learning science. I've spoken. It's a center of science. It's center of science because its role and influence in all of the science, we can say. Without that knowledge, other sciences like physics, chemistry would have not been particularly successful, because these are the science which will use to transform the matter. How we can investigate the properties and changes of matter. From the way how our body exchange oxygen, you all know. We always consume the oxygen and we are releasing the CO2 in the environment. Similarly, plant does in different way, vice versa. that is how our universe was created in all side of chemistry associate with us. That is we call as chemistry. So what is chemistry? It is nothing but the study of composition that we learn. Like it could be the hydrogen atom, it could be your nitrogen atom, oxygen atom. This is the metaphor of your all the, you can say, organic, inorganic chemistry. These are the main branches. If we talked about the chemistry, so probably from chemistry the multiple branches have been evolved based on their application. If you just look at our body, okay, our human structure, we have, our system is made up of different chemical agents. So that study we call as biochemistry. The biology world comes, na? Biochemistry. So probably you must have wondered what is biochemistry. It is nothing but the study of internal chemical which are present. So you all know whenever you take a food, it has to metabolize, it has to consume, it has to pass in different system. So that different the mechanical chemical reactions are taking place inside the system. That is what chemical reaction. So body has various chemical reactions that certainly we need to understood. So that is that study we call as biochemistry. So inorganic chemistry means other than carbon atom. That is inorganic chemistry. Like we prepare different inorganic components like metals. We all know. That is we are going to study in that. Okay. So look at the one example. Probably I'm giving you in today's session the we can say discovery how this particular life has been transformed by using this chemistry. So this is one very good example how diamond is being created. I hope everybody is knowing. So how diamond is creating. So diamond is formed. Diamond is creating how you made how you prepared the diamond by using carbon atom. If you arrange sequentially with one pattern, probably at high temperature, high pressure, you can prepare the diamonds. So these are kind of crystals we call as crystal. We understood in our, I think, 8th and 9th standard about crystal, how crystals are going to form. This is going to be formed with the change of matter. Just it is nothing but the example of transformation of matter, effect of bonding that we understood. Here, all carbon atom, you could see over here. Let me take the pen, you could understood. Yeah, you can see here, these are the carbon atom. So every carbon, getting attached, okay, in one symmetry with the help of one bond in between. That is we call as covalent bond that we understood. So it is being, binded very, I think, we can say the firm binding that is we call as covalent bonding. Because of that, this diamond become very hard. You all know diamond is very hard. Okay, how it prepared? By using crystallization process that you could see in this particular animation. Okay, if you put all the carbon together, okay, at high pressure and high temperature, it will become we can say a diamond. So this is the way how we can learn the chemistry. Okay, this is things how we can learn the chemistry, how we can make a diamond with the help of chemistry. That is the kind of things we need to understand. Next example, like just now I spoken about the biochemistry. Our body, if you see, there are total 25 elements are there. Among that, there are 4 big elements. Which are the big elements? Like oxygen is having, it contribute 65%. Our body contain how much percentage of oxygen? 65%. Carbon is 18%. Hydrogen is 955%. And nitrogen. These are the 4 big elements we could say. These are the 4, our body is made up of these 4 big organic elements. Means we can say our body is made up of organic as well as other these inorganic materials. These are the inorganic materials. Means our body has two chemistry. One is organic chemistry that we learn about the carbon atom. Okay, and other than carbon study we call as inorganic chemistry. Now probably you all understood. So chemistry have multiple branches. How it has been evolved in different branches because of the structure, because of all these oxygen, because of carbon, other than carbon molecules. Getting this is the way how we can learn. We have to learn by comparing our body system. This is the way how we can understand. Probably many times our body does not produce these chemicals. Sometimes because of certain malfunctioning of our organs. That time we need to take it that in the form of medicines. Means we have to create a needs. If the need is there, then you have to think on that particular solution. So we the scientists, we the chemists, we always think to prepare the medicines, to prepare the extra supplements in the form of we are taking the different medicines that contain potassium, sulfur, sodium, chloride, magnesium, vitamins. Why you take the supplement? Na? Whenever you become ill, doctor always give that particular medicine to you. Na? That contain these are the minerals, these are the things. So what is that? Because see, these are the things we need to understand. So how chemistry have evolved all these branches. starting from your starting from your morning wake up to your when you are going for the bed. So entire thing is made up of chemistry. Without chemistry, we cannot imagine the world. Okay, probably I'm going to show one short video to you later on, so you can imagine without life, without chemistry. Okay, life without chemistry. So next, look at your everyday life. So what are different chemical reactions we observe in daily life? If you just walk out from the room, you could see the many things. Like if you just look at your cooking, if you just go to visit your kitchen, then you could see probably the cooking methodology. What is that? That is the chemistry. The oxygen is burning, the combustion process. We all know how this particular this flame is getting. This flame is nothing because of combustion of your oxygen. This is the way how we can learn the chemistry. Don't look at the oxygen. Look at the process. How this oxygen is getting, why this particular flame is going to form because of oxygen. So this is the way how scientists got that clue, and they come up with the various ideas and with the various things. So these are the things how we can learn the chemistry, how we can make this subject more and more interesting rather than going with the lab. Because many students have phobia of chemistry. They don't want to go to chemistry labs because they are very afraid to this we can say the alkali acids and all that. So you all know many students saying the chemistry is volatile. Yeah, it's a volatile, but we need to understand properly so that it will remain in our minds forever. So you can learn the chemistry by observing the thing around us. That is a way where we can look after. Then look at yourself. Anaerobic respiration. You are taking oxygen and you are taking out this CO2 out. What is that? That is a process of chemical reaction that is taking place. That is very, very important. Simply take the example of your plant that you are observing chemical reaction in everyday life. This is the chemical reaction which is common in daily life, but you may not recognize them like in plant. So we have light. How photosynthesis is taking place? The light is coming on the plant. Okay, it absorbs this CO2. Okay, and it evolved oxygen that we needed. All of you. That's why we always ask plantation process and all these things. Why we need a plant? Because of this. Because we need oxygen to survive. So this is the way how this particular plant take the light and convert into energy. So we need energy for survival. So energy is taking place because of this process that is called as photosynthesis. So chemical reaction involves color changes, temperature. Means here nothing but the transformation of the mass is taking place. We need to understand why some plant is having we can say how fruit is changing the colors. Sometimes apple, you all of you know apple the color. Sometimes you all of you know the beet color, radish color. Different food have different color. So you have to observe why this particular food, that is a beetroot, having a red color. Have you ever thought on that? Why beetroot, which is having we can say red color? Have you thought? So because of the chemical present in that particular beetroot, that is called as tyrosine, amino acids that contain one amino acid, tyrosine. Because of that, the beet become red. Other fruit doesn't have that that kind of chemical. We need to understand that chemical. Probably we can think how we can make that color from the beetroot, because you understood the chemistry of that particular beetroot. One can synthesize that particular chemical outside the world, and we can make it available, that color, as a natural ingredients. That is what chemistry means. Chemistry start from your daily life. How we can synthesize your idea from observing this thing in daily life. So there are many things. So I'm just taking the few example just to make you understood this topic very well, and how we can become a creator. Getting? Yeah. Next to that. So just now talked about the chemistry. The chemist known as alchemist. Traditionally, if you just see the classical chemistry, our chemist known as alchemist. So they were starting to convert the stone into gold. That was the era of chemistry. The people were started collecting the stones, and they were making this particular gold that you can see beautiful coin over here. Okay, this is nothing but the gold coin. This is nothing but inorganic chemistry. Means the history started from organic chemistry, and it goes to inorganic chemistry, where we understood how we can convert the stones, okay, which contain carbon atom and all these things, and convert to inorganic metal. We all know the first metal, okay, the first alloy, you all of you know, which is being prepared by combination of your tin and lead. If you combine both the metal, probably you can make the alloy. This is the first kind of product, alloy, that is we call as bronze. You must be aware our ancestors are making the various weapons and the various tools for their purpose, a daily life, with the help of that alloy that is we call as a bronze material. That is the product of chemistry. That is the product of chemistry. Maybe probably we can call it as inorganic chemistry, because metal is comes under inorganic part. So this is the way how we can learn this discovery. Okay. Then moving to next part, just urea. You all of you know the urea, the chemistry of urea. Okay, the urea is one of the important component of your urine. You all of you know. So in your body, urea is there. Okay, so urea, you know, the people thought that urea is it is a God gifted products. Yeah, maybe because of it present in your body system. So this particular scientist, you know, the Freder Wohler, okay, because of the need of the urea, because sometimes you have to take this urea externally, and we people thought that the urea should be, you all of you know the importance of urea nowadays in agriculture fields. So this scientist, you know, he found that a need, and he came up with the idea to synthesize this urea outside the world. So now you all of you know the scientist who could make this urea, and now this urea is available for various purposes. Like you all of you know, urea is being used nowadays in agriculture field. So this is the way how we can understand the biochemistry and how we can make that chemistry for bringing our we can say how we can make for better life. So this is very important. We can make our you can make our life better with the chemistry. So chemistry, that's why chemistry is called as center of science. Center of science. Okay. So from other branches, if we see physics, biology, is being created from chemistry only. So another scientist, just for your example purpose and just for your curiosity, another example I'm taking over here, the myelin. Okay, this is one chemical, you know. So this is the people were, you know, in the ancestor in our historical way, historical days. Okay, you all of you know princes and all, they were using this kind of material for making the beautiful dresses. So in order to get this particular component, they are supposed to kill the thousands of that the Mediterranean we can say snails in order to get 1 gram of that color. Okay, in order to get this color, this is natural color actually. Okay, we are supposed to get it through that the snails. We are supposed to kill that the snails in order to get 1 gram of color. But this scientist William Perkin, you know, he observed the phenomena. He observed the importance of that color. Can we make this color with the help of synthetic chemistry? So he could make, he has made it available, this particular Perkins, in synthetic manner to make this dress. So this is the way how we can utilize this knowledge, utilize this particular you can say natural resources for converting into huge masses. Because you all of you know, in order to fulfill the demands in the public, we need in huge amount. So that is the purpose. We need to understood this purpose. Then and only we can evoke our minds and provoke our mind. So you can think in that perspective, and you can make it available, this science, for a common man, for well-being of society. So next example, DDT. This is one of the beautiful example of I think chemistry ever discovered. All of you know the chemical. People, you all of you know, during a second world, the many people are affected with this insecticides. That time there were no chemical. At this moment, if you see now today's era, we could see the many chemicals. For as an insecticide, we use it as a sanitizer purpose and many purposes, as a disinfectant purpose. But that time, you know, the first chemical which was used as an insecticide, that is DDT. Okay, which was developed by certain scientists in Germany. So this is the kind of revolution, I think. This is a revolution which is made with the help of chemistry. Another example, the first medicine. We all know we have to always think about your health. Always you have to think about your daily life. So health is one of the part. You all of you know, without health we cannot make our wealth. We cannot survive. So health is very important. We have to always, during this pandemic also, we all of you know, everybody understood the importance of life. How your life is important for us. Okay, so we should not run for the money. We should always think about your wealth first. So if you have the good health, then you can make a good wealth. So these are the kind of things. So this is the medicines, you know, the scientist Paul Ehrlich, who introduced the first fully synthetic drug. The name was Salvarsan, with the help of chemistry only. So he used that arsenic component, you know, for making up drug. So at that time, you know, during Second World War, many patients, could not survive because of the disease that time having, that is, you can say, syphilis. So he pointed out, he identified the problem, and he came up with this idea about why could, so he come up with this particular drug, that is Salvarsan. And that drug, you all of you know, now we call as magic bullet. So from that, other scientists started to make the different drug for different disease infection. Like we have witnessed with this pandemic, COVID-19. People are starting making vaccines. So this is the era of radical uncertainty. We don't know what is going to happen in future. We should ready. So can we use this chemistry for better life? Yeah, certainly we can use. Only we have to think in that perspective. If there's a need, then we can create that, the product. We can find out the solution for that. Because in around, if you just look at around yourself, you will see probably many problems. You can just pick up one problem and utilize your chemistry knowledge and just solve that issue. I really appreciate the Aniket Kakade that he has invented, discovered one product in your school of scholars. I really appreciate the entire management team, principal and HOS and all mentors, I could say. Okay, this is the kind of things we always propagate. You should always trigger your student mind so that they can learn this chemistry very nicely. Because chemistry is center of science. Unless and until they understand chemistry, they cannot learn biology, physics, because the chemistry is a part of life, we can say. We need to understand everywhere chemistry is there. That only we have to think in that perspective. Okay, when you wake up in the morning, like I just told you, you have to take the brush. The brush is made of plastic. That is nothing but a polyethylene material. So how this polyethylene material is being prepared? This is nothing but a chemistry. It's a chemistry. We need to understand. If you go with the chemistry, then we'll certainly understood. Then we take the foods. What is that food? Food is having chemistry. So the multiple things till your bed. When you're going with the bed, then you have to use different beautiful mattresses for sleeping purpose. What is that mattresses? This is nothing but the product of your chemistry. Without that nylon, without that all plastic, without that the fiber that we created. So this is the way how we can learn the chemistry. So another very important discovery we all know, that is your freeze refrigerator. Without that CFC, that is called as nothing but the refrigerant material, which was invented in your Second World War. That is called as trichlorofluoromethane, which is the very important material for your freeze. So we all know traditionally for storing or preserving of food, people use these boxes. Okay, people were using these boxes to store the food for 2 to 3 days or 4 days, sometime 1 month. This is the invention, how these inventive steps is being carried out. The people were using cooking just to remove the pathogens, and they started drying the material later on. They understood the drying phenomena. They understood fermentation later on. They understood the salting and curing mechanism. Then finally, in 17th century, we got this beautiful component, a beautiful product that we all are witness. That is we call as nothing but your refrigeration, AC. Not your freeze, where we could store our food and all. We could make it more and more stable, and we can have this for entire week. This is because of this chemical agent that is called as trichlorofluoromethane, CFC. So because of that, this is a refrigerant material. This is this is one of the component of the freeze where you can get all these kind of properties. So this is the way how this chemistry is going to be helpful in your daily life. You can imagine without freeze how we can store the foods, okay, and all these things. Again, another transformation, all of you know, nowadays we use this, the lithium battery, which is having long-lasting property. Means we can imagine, okay, before that we have to change a battery maybe once twice a day, or maybe sometimes daily you have to change the battery. But because of these lithium components, so the scientist John good enough, okay, he came up with the idea of lithium, which is inorganic material, and he developed that lithium battery where probably you can use that battery for long purposes, maybe for 7 weeks or maybe 1 month. We all know we use now solid state battery, which is made up of inorganic chemistry. We need to understand electrochemical reaction. So that is the thing, how we can learn this, how we can convert, how we can make our life more beautiful with the help of this chemistry. This is nothing but the transformation. We transform from this normal battery, a simple battery, we call as nothing but the liquid battery, to the solid battery. Similarly, in our hard disk, all of we are using laptop. Now laptop also transforming. Now previously people were using that the simple hard disk. Now it is being converted, it is being replaced with SSD, which is also product of chemistry. We need to understand chemistry. Then only you can come up with this kind of idea. Then let me show. I'll take you one very beautiful video where we can understood life without chemistry. Just imagine, okay, if chemistry is being lost from the entire world, then what you would expect? Okay, let us begin with this. Give me 1 minute. I'll just come up with this. Look at this, guys. Okay. He just wake up early in the morning, and what he has observed without chemistry. Let us see. Now he had a dream, okay, initially, and he without chemistry, okay, like that. Let us see. You could see. Let us see. Yeah, he wake up in the morning, and what he observed, okay, let us see. Because there's no chemistry, you can imagine how without chemistry what would happen in your life. Okay, look at that. He just taking the pill. Now you all know pill also required chemistry. Imagine, because there's no chemistry, means there should not be any pill, like that. How he is. So there's no chemistry. You can imagine like that. Okay. Life without chemistry is a life without chemistry. We all know how chemistry is very important in our daily life. Because chemistry plays the aspects of our life. It has allowed other science to blossom and expanded our collective knowledge. So now he just opening that freeze, and he that gallons of milk. There's no plastic, there's no storing device, means there's how we can store that milk. So this is, now see the milk got spoiled. Now he's wondering, he just just observing the chemicals to clean that particular things. So there's no chemistry, so how we can expect all chemicals? Look at these tiles. There's no chemistry, means there's no glue. There's no glue to apply the tiles on that particular house. So this is the way how we can imagine without chemistry. Okay, life without chemistry. We cannot survive without chemistry. So I'll just stop this video. These are the kind of things we need to understood. We can't expect. Okay, we cannot survive without chemistry. Means the chemistry start from your life started from your chemistry only. That is the thing we need to understood. Let us move with the next slides. Okay, move with the next slide. Another discovery that chemistry contribution, we can say, on this auspicious occasion, National Science Day, we should know the medicines. Just now we talked about that medicine, salvarsan, another medicine that is chloral hydrate, which is also product of, we can say, chemistry. We all know this particular drug, a particular chemical component, we can say, which is used to for as a sedative and hypnotics. Because the people sometimes can't sleep. So for that, we need to give the medicines. So that medicines was discovered by this one scientist, Oscar scientist. Okay, so probably because of this drug, we could take a very sound sleep. So this is a way how we can find out the solutions with the help of chemistry. Another very important at this pandemic moment, we all know, because of without these sanitizers, I think this is one of the essential part of our life. We all of you know, everyone is carrying these sanitizers. So you should know the discovery of this first antiseptic, how this particular antiseptic have been evolved. So you should know that. Okay, so the antiseptic, the first antiseptic which was invented, discovered by whom? Dr. Joseph Lister, who discovered that phenol by using this coal tar. You all of you know coal tar. Okay, this is nothing but your coals. From that, this particular phenol is being created. So he, the scientist Joseph Lister. Okay, he is the scientist. We can say man behind this antiseptic. So this is the journey of the antiseptic, how he has been converted this coal into the phenol, and they probably he could use during the surgery or during this all know. Now we all of you know, now we have hundreds of this disinfectant antiseptic now we use in daily life. But you should know the chemistry. Means these sanitizers, you all of you know, is a part of chemistry. Another very fantastic example that probably you are using in your home, that this is nothing but the happy pan. We could say nothing but your Teflon coated pan, in order to make our life more and more beautiful. But our concern with chemicals, there are certain chemicals that probably going to be harm to your body. We need to understand that also. Yeah, not all chemicals are harmful, but certain chemicals are the harmful to mankind. We need to understand that, because anything we take it excess called as poison. Anything we take it excess called as poison. So that is the thumb rule. We need to understand that. So these are Teflon coated. The Teflon is one material which is the part of chemistry. We create this chemistry. This is nothing but the PPAO material, that is the perfluorooctanoic acid material, which is the material you are supposed to apply on this, the pan, and we can make this pan, we can say non-sticky. You all of you, non-sticky means it will not, you will not, you require very ample, small amount of oils, so that oil is not going to be stick on this pan. That is we call as, that is the objective behind this Teflon coated pan. But this Teflon coated pan having certain problems. If you use this pan frequently, probably this leads to leaching of the certain chemicals in your food, and because of that you may get certain side effect. Maybe your hormonal balance may get changed. Many because of that, the nylon, this particular material is not that much widely accepted in many countries. So because everything, if you take it excess, then probably it is going to be act as a poison. We need to understand that. This is also very important. Another, many people are telling that, I want only organic foods. So what does it mean? So organic means what? Organic means nothing but the things that contains the carbon molecules. So that we call as organic molecules. So but if you just look at the example, if you take the example of these fruits, apple is natural. So probably that anything we call as natural, called as organic. We all know the natural means organic, naturally coming. It must be contain organic. But if you look at the apple contains several chemicals like carotene, tocopherol, riboflavin, nicotinamide. These are the chemistry. Okay, then people are saying how we can say this organic then? Sometimes people call as chemical, it contains chemical. See, this is the things. So if you take it any chemical in excess quantity, then it acts as a poison. Because just now I've spoken, anything we take it excess called as poison. But this quantity is not going to be harm to our body. This quantity which is present in our fruit, our daily life, okay, all the fruits, that is very, we can say safe for mankind. That's why we call it as organic, and it is safe. The chemical is not bad. Chemical is good if you take it in good quantity, if you take it in a right quantity. Because anything we take it as a right time, right quantity, so probably we'll get right therapy, a right kind of effect that we expect. So this need to be understood. We cannot, because many products, they are mentioning chemical free. So chemical free means maybe some chemical are harmful to your body. Some may be carcinogenic. You all of you know certain chemicals are carcinogenic. If we take it frequently, probably that induce the cancer. But if you take it in right quantity at right time, probably you will get right therapy, a right effect. So that is important. We need to understand that. So chemistry is always helpful in our life. But only thing we need to take it in very rational manner, very rational. Then another very beautiful example of contribution of the chemistry in our daily life. We all know this thermocol has been banned recently. We all of you know thermocol has been banned because of its problem, because it will directly affect on our environments, our ecosystem. Our ecosystem is going to damage because of thermocol. Because thermocol is not going to be, it's not going to be a degrade in your ecosystem. It will remain. How many years? Near about 200 years, more than 200 years. It will remain in the environments. That certainly we don't want that particular things in these environments, because anything we prepared, it should always biodegradable. That is very important. Biodegradable means that material should be degraded in the biological system. That is cycle. We need to always find out the system to make it a sustainable development, for making it environmental free, eco-friendly. We always talked about eco-friendly nature. Na? So chemistry also talked about that also. So people have started making starch-based water soluble, this particular. Now see, whenever there's a problem, you have to always think about your chemistry, how we can utilize our knowledge of chemistry for converting this. Yeah, now it is banned. But probably you can think how we can make it, how we can prepare some alternative things to replace the thermocol. Yeah, people have started working on that. They came up with this idea of starch-based water-soluble thermocol. Now in market it is available, because this is the kind of discovery. So here again chemistry play vital roles. Because without this chemistry, we all know natural polymers and synthetic polymers. So people are working on that, and they came up with the idea of that. This is a starch is natural polymer. When you make this starch-based thermocol, probably it will degrade in the environment very, very nicely, because starch is a part of our environment. You all of you know it's a part of our natural system. Yeah. Moving to next slides. So what has chemistry ever done for you? We discovered the bronze. We all know the first kind of alloy. You all of you know. Where this material being used in weapons and tools during the Bronze Age. You all know our historical days, okay, in battle life and all these things. During that, people were used this kind of knife and this kind of material to survive in the environments and in the society. Then later on, we got this invention with the help of chemistry only, that is vulcanized rubber. This is I think one of the kickstart polymers and plastic industries. Then we got this fibrous material. We all know the fibrous material made up of cottons or carbon nanotubes, which is diameter of each nanotube is more than thousands of times smaller than diameter of human hair. This is the kind of material we are receiving, we are getting from the, we can say, chemistry, where we can make it available, this material, for various purposes. We all of you know, we are wearing the t-shirt, we are wearing the all clothes because of this fibrous material only. This is also one of the, we can say, chemistry. We can convert, because see, if you want to make it this particular things by using the natural material, probably you cannot make the demands of all peoples, because we have huge population. In order to make it available for huge population, then we have to create artificially. Why we use chemistry to develop this kind of material? In order to fulfill demand of society. Because if you make it, if you want to generate, if you want to get it from the natural source, probably you may not fulfill the demand of that the quantity. That's why, you know, the scientists have started making synthetic chemistry, using synthetic chemistry for making this product. That is the kind of things we need to understand, where we utilize our chemistry knowledge for getting this thing done for our well-being of society. Very, very beautiful example how what we can learn from this particular things. Why doesn't honey spoil? Many you know, scientists got a clue from this kind of discovery. Because see, this is the things just now I told you. In order to become a researcher, a scientist, you have to be a good observer. You have to be a good observer. You have to only observe that particular phenomena, that particular things, then probably you can invent or you can innovate. Because invention is nothing but we are creating something new. Innovation means you have added a value in existing system. There are two terms, invention and innovation. In order to make an inventor or innovator, you have to become a good observer. Certainly, if you become a good observer, then you can file a patent. You can become an entrepreneur. Rightly said by Satish Upresar. In order to now this era is nothing but you can you know, get it involved in particular organization. Yeah, you can create a job. You can create a job and you can give the job to others. There are two ways. Either you can become a job seeker. Yeah, you can give the job to others, like become an entrepreneur. So in order to become an entrepreneur, you have to be a very good observer. If you observe the things, probably you can come up with the many things. Now look at one example I'm giving to you over here. Why doesn't honey spoil? Can you imagine? Because it contains certain chemical. It contains certain chemical, and that chemical is responsible for that. That chemical doesn't allow the pathogen and microorganism to grow. Because you all of you know this particular honey is not going to spoil. Why? Because it contains certain chemicals, and that's a clue scientists got. So scientists came up with the many things with the help of this clue, and they started, you know, synthesizing and extracting that particular chemical from that particular you know, the honey, and they started making the chemical formula, similar formula outside the lab, outside that, we can say, this particular honey, and they started synthesizing this chemical in huge amount. Now we all know we are getting hydrogen peroxide, gluconic acid in large amount with the help of synthetic chemistry. Why? Because if you want to take it that hydrogen peroxide from this natural source, probably you could get only 1 gram from the 100 ml solution, 100 ml honey. In order to prepare 1 gram of hydrogen peroxide, you have to take it 100 ml of the honey. But if you go with synthetic process, organic chemistry process, then probably you can make it in huge amount by using synthetic chemistry. We can synthesize in our lab, because we understood the structure of that particular chemical formula. So this is the formula we understood. So that is the understanding. How we can take this knowledge, how we can become a good observer, and from that observing the phenomena, how we can become a good scientist, and we can become innovator and inventor. Later on, you can become an entrepreneur. So this is the way how people have started the thinking on this honey, and they came up with the different ideas of preservatives and all these things. Because we all know we add a preservative in many food in order to preserve that food for longer times. This idea came up from the honey only. Okay, now we use multiple preservative in our formulation. Okay, next question I'm asking, because being a chemistry students, okay, have we ever wondered why there is an expiration date on bottle of drinking water? How you ever wonder? Because see, water doesn't have any expiry date. So expiry date is with only bottle. Expiry date is with bottle, not water. Water is not going to spoil. Water is remain, we can say clear, remain, we can say. So this, the expiry date which is mentioned on the bottle of this, this, we can say this plastic is with the plastic, the polymer we use for this. This bottle is made of a polymer, that is polyvinyl chloride. That is having expiry period. This is also a product of chemistry. We need to understand chemistry, because this polymer, after certain period, it will release the chemicals into this particular water, and the water become, we can say, polluted. So that need to understood. So this expiry date is for only this polymer, this particular bottle. So we have to choose proper bottle. If you want to see whether the bottle is recyclable or not, look at the bottom of the bottle. It is mentioning over here 1, 2, 3 number. If one number is mentioned, means the bottle is recyclable. If 2 number is mentioned, now you can do this practice. If you have the bottle in front of you, you can also take it and look at the bottom of your bottle. आप जब check कर लीजिए bottle के नीचे, there's a recycle, kind of, you could see like this structure over here, like this, okay. Bottle के नीचे ऐसे होता है, and they are mentioning 1, 2, 3 number. If it is 1 number mentioned, means what? The bottle is recyclable, which is made up of polypropylene material, which is recyclable. This is the way how we can understood from your daily life, how we can learn the chemistry from daily life. Okay, I'll just skip the slides, okay. Now let us understand chemistry of cleansing agent. We are using this hand wash and all these things. How does it remove the pathogen? How does it remove? We need to understand the chemistry of this all hand sanitizing agents, because in pandemic situation, you all of you know how this particular sanitizer playing vital role, a significant role, a remarkable role, we could say. So this is the chemical we use, that is we call it hand wash. So you all know the pathogen which is made up of lipid, and this particular this chemical which will certainly act on this lipid and which will remove this lipid, like this, it acting now because of the surfactant activity. You can see the chemistry over here, how this particular molecule remove the pathogen. You can see this is the molecule which is made of a polar and non-polar surface. And what happens when this molecule come up with this viruses, it will directly diminish this lipid. That's the property of this particular the chemicals. So this is the way how we can learn the chemistry. How does this soap remove the virus from hand? This is the chemistry. It involves the chemistry. Again, next observation. So this is one of the greatest invention we all know. We always remember that Avogadro. You all of you know the balloons of all have same volume. This means they all contain the same number of molecules. You could see here. This is the balloon which contain helium gas. Another balloon which contain this another gas, and this particular having another gas like oxygen. But if you see, if you see over here, the molecule which is contained in the balloons, which is having same number. What that particular scientist stated, that you all of you know the scientists, we all know these particular scientists who describe this particular the law that is called the Avogadro law. You all of you know the balloons have the same volume. This means they all contain the same number of molecules. This is the kind of invention he came up with this idea. Why certain balloons fly in the sky? Why certain balloons did not remain in the your soil, your earth? So from that he could make this kind of observation, and he come up with that law. Then chemistry of food, everyday life, we use coloring agent, artificial preservative, flow stabilizer, various substances we use. So in order to make it available for large population, then you have to always extract the things, extract the chemistry from that plant material, and you have to make it in synthetic way, because you all of you know we cannot fulfill the demand of all public. Na? If you take it from the plant source only, then we cannot make it available for all public. In order to make it for common man, you have to always utilize your chemistry. You have to synthesize in the lab, okay, in the form of the product. Then you could make it available in the society. Again, I'm skipping these slides. Again, this is one of the best example. When you want to learn the chemistry, then you have to become good observer. Like just now I told you about this. Another example, you could just imagine this particular beetroot. Have you ever thought about that? Why beetroot color is red and why radish color is white? This is because of the chemistry, because of the chemical agent which are present in that particular fruit. If you just look at the beetroot, this contains red color because of the chemistry, a chemical agent which is present in this beetroot, that is we call as a tyrosine. That is nothing but amino acids. So scientists got that clue and found that they starting making this particular component in synthetic manner, and then they could make it available common man in large quantity. So that is the way how we can learn how we can become an observer and how we can innovate and invent the things and make it available for common man to fulfill the demand and to make our life better. That is the chemistry talked about at this National Science Day. We should learn the chemistry in this perspective, in this way. Then and only we can learn, we can become a creator rather than learning the remembering of the fact. Today's education system, I know it is just learning the fact. We are remembering the fact and we are making that fact in the paper and we are getting the marks. So don't run from the marks. We always try to learn the concept from that particular particular topics and try to synthesize your idea and try to become a creator so that you can use that creation for well-being of society that rightly one of your student has done. I think that is one of the great we can say beginning for getting into this science. So flame chemistry again, you just look at the flame. Different metal have different colors. How this happening? So we need to focus on that. We do become an observer. So probably you can come up with the various idea. Okay, by choosing this element, probably you can choose in order to get that particular yellow flame. Probably you can use NaCl. If you want this kind of flame, we can say yellow flame. Then probably you can use this Cl3 like that. Okay, so there are many things. I'll just keep these slides. Okay, they are the greatest scientists in the chemistry because today all of you know what we are right now is because of all these scientists' contributions. The first scientist that Antony Lavoisier, who is the father of chemistry. We should know father of chemistry, who made it available, this law of conservation of energy. Because of that, we understood that energy is neither being created nor be destroyed. He's the first person to identify oxygen and hydrogen. We all know our water molecule is, we all know water molecule contain the hydrogen atom and oxygen molecules. So another that is Avogadro number. We all of you know all these scientists' contributions. Okay. Then we know George Dalton, who founded the atomic theory. We understood atoms, molecules, nucleus, protons, neutrons, all this because of this Dalton's discovery. We should not forget the scientist, incredible chemist, we could say, the Dmitry Mendeleev, who made available this periodic table to us. Because of that, we could classify all the organic, inorganic, we can say metals and all these things in proper way, in synchronized manner. So another scientist, Jacob Berzelius, who invent that polymer. Because of that, we use all these polymers in your smartphone to TV. You all of you know, you look at your the smartphone to TV. Okay, this is made of this nothing but a plastic material, and that is being invented by this Berzelius scientist. Then Bunsen burner, you are using this burner in chemistry lab. This is the name of that scientist, Bunsen burner. That's why we call it this Bunsen burner. Okay, the name of scientist is Bunsen, Robert Bunsen. So that's why the name bear on that Bunsen burner. No, we always call Bunsen burner. Okay. Finally, I'll take you with very good example how we can make this chemistry more and more interesting. Okay. So we all know we are transforming from 1D to 3D image. So why we trust on 3D image? Because in 3D image we could imagine, we could identify, relocate the things very nicely. That chemistry has done in the form of, we can say, ink, in the form of we can say that graphene material, in the form of various sensing devices. So this is a picture. If you look at this picture, we will not identify this picture. Okay, we cannot by seeing these things, probably you may not recognize this particular image. But if I show you in 2D format, this is a 1D image. This is a 2D image. Probably you can close to your observation. This is the image of, we can say, Mona Lisa. If you see it's a character, Mona Lisa. Okay, but if you see in this 3D pattern, probably you can identify entire thing properly. We can make it real. Now virtual is real, like that we can say. Okay, so IT has made a lot of revolution. You all of you know, when you blend the Indian technology with the information technology, then probably you can make a better tomorrow. That is we talked about that our former president Dr. Abdul Kalam said, IT plus IT is equal to better tomorrow, BT square. So India's tomorrow, we can say, like this. So this is a kind of very I think a good example how we can use this technology to make a better tomorrow, like how we can use the chemistry to make better tomorrow. This is the way how we can. So you have to always think about declarative knowledge, not to imperative knowledge, because declarative knowledge only facilitates us statement of fact. So only we learn, yeah, these are the things that is done by this, and okay. But what we learn from that, how we can utilize this knowledge, because this knowledge facilitates us way to finding a new information probably going to be valuable to us. That is we expect from this generation. You have to become a problem solver rather than a fact learner. Don't learn the fact. Yeah, learn the fact, not an issue, but try to utilize that particular knowledge that you are taking during your school, maybe 8, 9, 10 students. Those are watching my this particular deliberation session. So you think in this perspective. Look at the topic for how we can utilize the topic for creating something. Look at the problem around us. Maybe you will find multiple problems. How we can utilize your science knowledge to solve that issue. I really appreciate Aniket again, because he has found out the problem that is there around us, and he came up with that idea of sanitizing a spray. That is really wonderful idea. See, this is the way how we can learn and how we can propagate, how we can trigger our mind to make it. We all of know, like your brain, your mind is like parachute. Unless and until you open that parachute, it won't work. So that is the kind of things we need to understand. This is a very important sentence. Finally, I'll conclude this session within 2 minutes. आज आराम करून आयुष्यभर कष्ट करण्यापेक्षा शैक्षणिक जीवनात कष्ट करून आयुष्यभर आरामात जगणं कधीच चांगलं. There are 2 ways to live the life. One way is right now you can enjoy your life. Later on you can put your hard work to get a success. Other way, you can now do the hard work, and later life you can enjoy. Now choice is up to you. So you should have big aspiration. You should have big aspiration. Then and only probably you can get that success and you can reach to your destination. So mind is like parachute. Just now talked about that. It works best when it open. मंजिलें उन्हीं को मिलती है जिनके सपनों में जान होती है. मंजिलें उन्हीं को मिलती है जिनके सपनों में जान होती है. पंख से कुछ नहीं होता, हौसले से उड़ान होती है. You must have big aspiration and dream in your life. That is I think my concluding remark to all my fellow students, all my colleagues, I can say my teachers, all my parents, those are attending this session. I really once again express my sincere gratitude and thanks to the management of School of Scholars. Special thanks to Satish sir and Shraddha ma'am for taking pen since last 2 to 3 days to arranging this live Facebook and all this kind of thing. Even the anchor that is Samruddhi Nalamwar. Also, I extend my sincere thanks to Ritesh Nair sir, who is a backbone of this all program handling, because that is a challenging task at this moment. I really express once again thanks. And if you have any questions, probably you can put your questions in Facebook, and you can convey that questions to me. I'll able to answer those questions. Okay. Now over to coordinator. This is a disclaimer. So
Yes.
Open the disclaimer also. Yeah. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Now you can proceed.
Yes. Once a great man whispered, feeling thankful and not expressing it is like wrapping a gift and not giving it. I want to thank all of you for being part of celebration and for glorifying this day. I would like to thank our guest, Professor Dr. Satish Pulshettiwar, who graced us with his presence. Thank you, sir, for sharing your knowledge and words of wisdom with us. I thank our principal, sir, Mr. Narendra Singh Chauhan, sir, and Vice Principal Ma'am, Mrs. Reena Kale, for their support. Special thanks to Mrs. Shraddha Gaurkhede Ma'am, Head of Department of Science, Mr. Satish Upre sir, Atal Lab in charge, and whole science department. As event like this could not be organized successfully without you. I really extend my heartfelt gratitude towards everybody and hereby declare that program is over. Thank you.